Hey guys, this is Topaz989 and I'm here to present to you my first review, Castlevania Aria's Sorrow for the Game Boy Advance. Let's start with the plot. The plot of the game focuses on Soma Cruz, an exchange student visiting Japan in the year 2035. While visiting his friend Mina Hakuba, the two are sucked into an eclipse and then attacked. In order to get back, Soma is told that he must enter the castle and reach the throne room. After that, aside from a few conversations here and there isn't that deep of a plot, just enough to get you from area to area. The gameplay. Aria's Sorrow features a lot of the action RPG elements of Symphony of the Night. You can level up, equip different weapons, and recharge your health in the save room. The controls are B button to attack, A to jump, L trigger to use your abilities such as backdashing, and the R button is your guardian. In this case, I set my R button to Cognazo, a demon that comes out of your shoulder to punch his enemies to death. The best part of the game is the soul collecting system. Collecting souls does everything from boosting your stats, getting you to inaccessible areas, and even deciding 2 of the 3 endings. In order to collect a soul, all you have to do is kill the enemy and hope you get lucky. Some souls I managed to get the first time. Others I had to try 50 times before receiving it. While this may sound bad, it does eliminate any level grinding. By the time you get a soul you want, you'll probably be a few levels higher than when you started. To use your soul, all you have to do is press and hold up, then B to attack. Here's my favorite, the Valkyrie. Does a ton of damage and uses a holy element. That's awesome. As the game progresses, there was a small problem that came up, and that was that you couldn't sort your souls. Every time you changed it, the last one you use is the first one in line. Not bad if you're going back and forth, but if you're looking for a certain one that you haven't used in a while, it can get a little frustrating. Now, let's talk about the melee combat. You start off with a really crappy pocket knife, and throughout the game, you are teased by dozens of weapons that you can see, but will not get until much later. And by the time you reach some of them, you'll most likely have a better weapon that you can buy at the shop. Most of the bosses were a little too easy. By the time you get to the final boss, you'll be employing a secret strategy known as standing still and wail on the attack button. The only difficult parts would be any room with a bunch of spikes. Now, look at this. Right now I have the best equipment on, and while enemies do about 1 point of damage, spikes do over 70. 134 if you're stoned. It's stupid because it's so cheap. Set your souls right and you can go grab a sandwich for the final boss, but not for the spikes. If you don't pound away the buttons to get rid of the stone effect, you are dead in seconds. This should be the biggest threat in the game. Not this. Let's talk about the presentation now. The character animation is very fluid and diverse. Now, I'm not a fan of Soma's design, but he did grow on me, especially on how he looked in the game. Except for Mina, whom always had something new to say throughout the game, the other characters really didn't stick out for me. Backgrounds are very beautiful and quite colorful. I really liked how in many parts of the game, there's always something going on. The bats in the background, the water, and the moon is just awesome. The enemies were well done. They are just as detailed as the backgrounds without being too prominent or blending in. Sometimes the enemies have more character than the actual main characters themselves. Picture this. I enter a corridor filled with scantily clothed women, and I'm greeted with a maid who bows down, says hello, and proceeds to kick my ass. Not to mention, within this area there is a peeper/stalker who hides in the mirrors. Wow. The soundtrack is pretty good, but it doesn't really stand out. Here are a few samples. There wasn't any bad music, and it had enough variety to avoid being repetitive. I did like the sound effects, and the game even featured some lovely Japanese voice acting. Replay. Now, while I did say the game is extremely easy, there are plenty of places to increase the difficulty. What makes this game great is that while the souls are fun, they aren't required to beat the game. Hard mode is also available the second time, as well as a second character with different style of gameplay. Another thing you can do is collecting all the souls does reward one of the best accessories in the game. Overall, the game has great graphics, excellent gameplay, and a ton of replay value. And while I did gripe about the spikes, the fact that they're only in a couple of areas wasn't that bad. This is one of the most fun games in the Game Boy Advance library, especially for those who never got a chance to play Symphony of the Night. If you do plan on buying this, I go with the double pack. You should be able to buy it for around $15 used. Overall, 93%. Another excellent game from a fantastic series. Thanks for listening.